process is ongoing, and once completed, the counter-offer will be communicated to IPU-CCF to kickstart the negotiations process. Mr. Chairman, I've noted that in the petition, the unions have made reference to the 2017-2021 CBA for other public sector, the CBAs actually, for other public sector employees, which have been finalized, such as civil servants, teachers, and doctors. It's worth noting, and I think this is very important, that the CBAs for teachers and civil servants were based on the outcomes of the job evaluation that was carried out and commissioned by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. So those CBAs were actually based on the evaluation that was carried out by CRC. A similar job evaluation was conducted in all public universities by the CRC, and preliminary results communicated to each university, but the process is yet to be finalized. The ministry has learnt that University Academic Staff Union, the UASU, filed in court contesting job evaluation for university academic staff. This has therefore hampered the finalization of the job evaluation and therefore denying CRC an opportunity to advise on appropriate counter-offers to be made. As consultations with IPU-CCF and the National Treasury were ongoing on university staff unions, the university staff unions actually issued a 7-day strike notice from the 21st of February 2018, which expired on the 28th of February, thus commencing the withdrawal of services in public universities. The IPU-CCF filed Employment Labour Relations case number 257 of 2018 in the Employment and Labour Relations Court, and it was the IPU-CCF versus UASU, and named Ministry of Education, National Treasury, Ministry of Labour, the Attorney General, and the CRC as interested parties. The IPU-CCF and the interested parties were urging the court to declare the strike illegal and unprotected to enable parties to start the negotiation process, table and resolve this dispute once and for all. The judgment is expected to be delivered tomorrow, Friday, the 16th of March, 2018. From the foregoing, it's clear that the national CBS for 2013-2017 that covers basic salary and house allowance has been fully implemented to date. However, the IPU-CCF has reported that public universities have outstanding pension arrears for 2010-2013 and 2013-2017 CBS totaling 4 billion Kenya shillings. The other allowances, including medical, commuter, and other related allowances and terms and conditions of service, are covered under local institution CBA, with each of the 3 unions with respective university councils. Arising from the above, Mr. Chairman, it's clear that the government has not refused or objected to negotiate with the unions, but there are various hurdles, such as the UASU court case on job evaluation results and the declaration of an industrial strike, that has kept away the parties from the negotiation table. The payroll data requested from the universities is still streaming in. Actually, we have, I think, about 15 universities that have submitted. Others have submitted, but not in the format that was requested, and the rest have submitted very scanty information. In view of the above, we are hoping that UASU will withdraw the case they filed against this SRC to enable the job evaluation to be completed. We are also optimistic that the Labour Relations Court will declare the strike illegal and unprotected. This will allow parties to start the negotiations and allow us to give our counter-offer. It's of great concern to us, Mr. Chairman, that lecturer strikes are affecting the quality of university education due to reduced contact hours and disruption of the university calendar. The job evaluations results would form a good basis, in fact a very solid one, for any CBA negotiations and ensure harmony within the public sector and the public wage bill, which must become sustainable. The Ministry welcomes efforts by the Department Committee and research on appropriations for funds to enable the finalization of 2017-2021 CBA and the clearance of the outstanding 4 billion of employer pensions contributions arrears for 2010, 2013, and 2013-2017. Whereas government policy provides for provision of mortgages and car loans for public servants, including those at public universities, the existing guidelines require universities to set aside funds for the same within available budgets. On Wednesday, the 14th of March, Mr. Chairman, there were demonstrations at the Ministry of Education headquarters, where we received union officials and had candid and what I believe were very useful discussions on the way forward. We later addressed the union members that were outside our headquarters, and Mr. Chairman, we would really like to assure you that we are working round the clock within government and all the government agencies that are relevant to this are involved to resolve this issue and to develop a lasting solution to this impasse that has been affecting learning in our institutions of higher learning for a very long time. In fact, if memory serves us right, these strikes commenced in the early 90s and have continued to date. Last year, there were 3 strikes. And therefore, I think this is an opportune time for all of us together to find a solution that will not only be permanent, but that will allow the institutions to continue working and to minimize the disruptions. When I had the discussions, Mr. Chairman, with the unions, I actually referred to the fact that it's taking much longer to complete university courses than it has ever done, and that we need to arrest that situation. We cannot allow students to come out of university at an older age than they were supposed to, therefore actually limiting their chances and their opportunities in life going forward. We also spoke to the fact that they must be interested as much as we are to finding a solution that's permanent and that can be sustained, so that even for them as parents and teachers, it's I think become untenable to continue demonstrating on the streets of the city. And they expressed that same feeling, that in fact they would like to find a solution that will enable them to do what they do best, and that is teaching our children at the universities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you for the precise presentation. So members, welcome. Members, we just walk in after our introductions. Wadanga and Runyenje, to introduce yourselves first.
I'm Geoffrey Wadanga, Member of Parliament for Ontario's and the East Community.
My name is Mashangi, the MP for Runyenje constituency. A member.
So members who are aware of what we maybe it's a forum now for us to raise any issues, clarifications, because yes. I'm asking that when we get a chance, just raise about 2 issues.
That's Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed. She's been summoned by the Parliamentary Education Committee to explain the circumstances revolving around the lecturers' strike, which has been lasting for the last couple of weeks now. And yesterday there was a protest that ended up at her doorstep, and she says that she was given the petition by the WASU members there demanding the implementation of the 2017-2021 CBA. She says that the implementation will be based on a job evaluation, and however they're also working on a counter offer which will be given to the IPUCCF, that's the Inter-Public Universities Council Consultative Forum, before engaging the WASU officials so that they can call off the strike. She's also given an assurance to the members of the committee there that they're working around the clock to ensure that the impasse is resolved as soon as possible. She says it's now taking even longer for university students to clear their courseworks because of the prominent strikes that have been happening a lot. But she also mentioned that any pay rise that will be done to the UASU members and the lecturers as well have to be sustainable, and that's the reason why it has to be based on a job evaluation. The lecturers there say that the job evaluation was not done properly. They're also demanding earlier on, when they appeared before the same committee, that there needs to be a physical head count of everyone who works in the institution, because they say there are who they call ghost workers. As soon as we get more response from that, we'll be giving you the latest details. But what we know so far is that there was a petition handed over to her, and now she's appeared before the Education Committee. The issue revolves around the implementation of the CBA. The government says as soon as that is done, it has to be sustainable, but they're also giving a counter offer to the IPUCCF. That's the Interpublic Universities Council Consultative Forum.